Admiral Tejo stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Glory, watching the remnants of the Arcturian rebellion scatter across space. Their pitiful ships were no match for the Federation's mighty fleet. Small explosions lit up the darkness as the last rebel cruisers fell to Federation weapons. "Another victory for the records," Tejo said, his voice carrying across the silent command bridge. The crew worked efficiently at their stations, monitoring systems and tracking the fleeing rebel vessels. Commander Jaiwu approached with a data tablet. "Sir, casualty reports are minimal. 3 ships damaged, no total losses. The rebels have been crushed completely." Tejo nodded with satisfaction. The Federation had ruled the galaxy for centuries, and no small rebellion would change that. He adjusted his ornate uniform and gazed at the star map displaying their conquest. "Send word to Central Command. The Arcturian system is secure. Request permission to begin resource extraction immediately." "Yes, Admiral," Jaiwu bowed slightly before returning to her station. The bridge crews celebrated quietly. This victory meant promotions and bonuses for everyone. Admiral Tejo allowed himself a rare smile. His tactical genius had once again proven why he commanded the Federation's Third Fleet. "Begin recovery operations for any valuable rebel technology," Tejo ordered. "Prepare prisoner transports for survivors." Lieutenant Miho looked up from his sensor station with concern. "Admiral, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures at the edge of the system." Tejo frowned. "Rebel reinforcements?" "No, sir. The configuration doesn't match any known rebel designs." Miho's fingers flew across his console. "They're entering the system from the outer planets. 3 large vessels, origin. Earth sector." A hushed silence fell over the bridge. Earth was known throughout the galaxy as a paradox, a technologically advanced world that had repeatedly refused Federation membership. They kept to themselves, traded minimally with other worlds, and maintained strict neutrality in galactic politics. "Earth?" Tejo laughed dismissively. "What business do they have here?" Commander Jaiwu approached again, her expression troubled. "Earth has maintained diplomatic relations with Arcturus. Perhaps they're responding to the conflict." "The Federation claimed this system weeks ago," Tejo said. "Earth has no jurisdiction here." "Sir," Miho interrupted, his voice rising slightly, "these ships, they're enormous. Our sensors classify them as dreadnoughts, but they're unlike any design in our database." Tejo moved to the sensor station, pushing Miho aside to see the readings himself. The data showed 3 massive vessels moving with surprising speed toward the battle zone. Their energy signatures pulsed with power levels that seemed impossible. "Put them on screen," Tejo ordered. The main viewscreen shifted to show 3 angular, sleek vessels. Their hulls were dark gray with blue energy flowing through visible channels across their surface. They dwarfed even the largest Federation battleships. "Those can't be Earth ships," Tejo muttered. "Earth doesn't build warships. They're traders, scientists." "The design is definitely Earth origin," Jaiwu confirmed, checking additional data. "But our intelligence suggested their military capacity was minimal." Tejo straightened his back. "It doesn't matter. We have 30 ships to their 3. Open a channel." The communications officer worked at his station. "Channel open, Admiral. Attention Earth vessels. This is Admiral Tejo of the Federation Third Fleet. You have entered restricted space during military operations. State your purpose immediately." The screen remained dark for several moments before flickering to show a woman in a simple black uniform with silver trim. She wore no visible rank insignia, but her posture conveyed authority. "Admiral Tejo. I am Commander Doyen of the Earth Defense Force. We have detected your unprovoked attack on Arcturus, a trading partner of Earth. We request your immediate withdrawal from this system." Tejo laughed. "Commander, the Federation has claimed this system. Your request is denied. Return to Earth or stay as observers, but do not interfere." Commander Doyen's expression remained neutral. "We cannot allow the conquest of free worlds, Admiral. This is your only warning. The communication ended abruptly. Teiho's face flushed with anger. How dare they target their lead vessel? A warning shot across their bow. Sir, Miho said, his voice shaking, sensors detect unusual energy buildup in all three Earthships. Their power readings are off the scale. Before Teiho could respond, the Earth Dreadnoughts accelerated toward the Federation fleet. Their blue energy channels brightened to blinding intensity. Battle stations. Teiho shouted. All ships form defensive formation. They're just 3 vessels against 30. Show them Federation power. As the alarm blared across the bridge, Teiho felt something he hadn't experienced in years: uncertainty. Something about those Earthships terrified him, though he would never admit it. The first shots were about to be fired, and Admiral Teiho suddenly wondered if his long string of victories was about to end. The first Federation plasma volley streaked across space toward the Earth Dreadnoughts. Admiral Teiho watched with satisfaction as the bright energy weapons closed in on their targets. These Earthships, impressive as they appeared, would soon learn the price of defiance. Impact in 3 seconds, Lieutenant Miho reported, eyes fixed on his console. The bridge crew collectively held their breath as the plasma bolts struck and dissipated harmlessly against an invisible barrier surrounding the Earth vessels. Not even a flicker of damage registered on their sensors. Impossible, Teiho whispered. Fire again. All weapons. The Federation fleet unleashed its full arsenal. Hundreds of energy weapons and missiles converged on the 3 Earth Dreadnoughts. The void between them lit up like a newborn star as the barrage hit the same invisible shields, creating beautiful cascades of energy that harmlessly washed away. Our weapons have no effect, Commander Jaiwo reported, voice tight with tension. Not even at maximum power. The main view screen activated again. Commander Doyen of Earth appeared, her expression still calm. Admiral Teiho, we have no desire for bloodshed. Your weapons cannot penetrate our defensive systems. Please stand down and withdraw your forces. Teiho slammed his fist against his command chair. The Federation does not retreat. All ships, advance and engage at close range. As the Federation ships moved forward, the lead Earth Dreadnought fired a single, small projectile. It moved with incredible speed, leaving a blue trail as it traveled. The projectile struck one of the Federation cruisers with surgical precision. Instead of exploding, the Federation ship went completely dark. Its engines died, its weapons powered down, but its life support remained functional. The Dauntless is disabled, reported Miho. All systems except life support are offline. They did it with one shot. Before Teiho could respond, a second Federation ship was disabled by another precise strike. Then a third. How is this possible? Teiho demanded. What kind of weapons are they using? Unknown, sir, Jaiwo replied, studying the sensor readings. It appears to be some kind of targeted electromagnetic pulse, but far more advanced than anything in our database. The Earth Dreadnoughts began to move in perfect formation, surrounding the Federation fleet. Their enormous hulls dwarfed Teiho's ships as they took positions that would prevent escape. They're boxing us in, Teiho realized aloud. Commander Doyen appeared on screen again. Admiral, perhaps now you understand. We could have destroyed your vessels, but chose not to harm your crews. Earth values all life. Teiho's pride wouldn't let him surrender. Deploy all fighters. Overwhelm them with numbers. Hundreds of small Federation fighters launched from carrier ships, swarming toward the Earth Dreadnoughts like angry insects. In response, ports opened along the hulls of the Earth vessels. Thousands of small, autonomous drones poured out, each no bigger than a human. They moved with impossible coordination, intercepting the Federation fighters. The drones didn't destroy the fighters, they attached themselves to key systems, temporarily disabling weapons and propulsion. Federation pilots found themselves floating helplessly in space, unable to fight or flee. Sir, Miho said quietly, we've lost half our fighter force already. No casualties, but they can't fight. Teiho stared at the tactical display in disbelief. Decades of Federation military dominance was being undone by 3 ships from a planet that had supposedly focused on science instead of war. Send a message to Federation headquarters, Tejo ordered. Request immediate reinforcements. All available ships. The communications officer worked at his station, then looked up with panic. Sir, I can't establish a connection. Something is blocking our long-range communications. Commander Doyen appeared on screen again. Admiral, we've temporarily disabled your FTL communications. This matter should be resolved between us, here and now, without escalation. For the first time, Tejo felt real fear. His fleet was being systematically neutralized without a single casualty. Earth wasn't fighting like any enemy he had faced before. How, he asked simply. How did Earth develop such technology in isolation? Doyen's expression softened slightly. We were never truly isolated, Admiral. While the Federation conquered, we observed and learned. We chose a different path, developing technology to preserve life rather than take it. Another Federation cruiser went dark as a precision shot disabled its systems. Your choice is simple, Doyen continued. Continue this one-sided battle and lose your entire fleet, or withdraw and reconsider the Federation's position on planetary sovereignty. Tejo looked around his bridge. His crew awaited his decision, their faces showing the same shock and uncertainty he felt. Everything they knew about warfare, about Federation superiority, was being challenged. Hold fire, he finally ordered, the words bitter in his mouth. All ships hold position. On the view screen, Commander Doyen nodded with respect. A wise decision, Admiral. Perhaps this can be the beginning of a new understanding between our peoples. As Tejo stared at the massive Earth dreadnoughts surrounding his once proud fleet, he realized the galaxy had just changed forever. Tejo paced the bridge of the eternal glory, hands clasped behind his back. 6 Federation ships now floated powerless, their systems disabled by Earth's mysterious weapons. The rest of his fleet remained in formation, weapons armed but useless against the 3 massive dreadnoughts. What do we know about their technology? He demanded, stopping beside Commander Jaiwoo's station. She looked up from her analysis. Very little, Admiral. Their shield technology appears to operate on principles we've never encountered. It doesn't just block our weapons, it seems to absorb and redistribute the energy. Lieutenant Miho called from his station, Sir, I've been studying their propulsion systems. They don't use conventional engines. There's no visible exhaust, no radiation signature we can detect. That's impossible, Tejo muttered. The evidence is right in front of us, Jaiwo said quietly, gesturing to the view screen where the Earth vessels hovered, their blue energy channels pulsing steadily. Tejo ordered a secure channel open to Commander Sujin's vessel. When her face appeared on screen, she looked as troubled as he felt. Commander, prepare a stealth attack. Send your fastest ship around the system's outer rim. We need to test if these Earth shields work in all directions. Sujin nodded grimly. The Swift Wing can be ready in 10 minutes. Make it 5, Tejo said and ended the transmission. On the bridge of the Earth Dreadnought Humanity's Shield, Commander Doyen watched the Federation fleet with her senior officers. The command center was spacious and well-lit, unlike the dark, cramped bridges of Federation vessels. They're planning something, said Lieutenant Min Young, monitoring the tactical display. One of their light cruisers is powering up its stealth systems. Let them try, Doyen replied calmly. Deploy a sensor drone net. Standard pattern. Captain Juno nodded and issued the command. From the underbelly of the dreadnought, hundreds of tiny spheres no larger than a fist shot out, spreading in a complex pattern around the Earth fleet. Back on the Eternal Glory, Tejo received confirmation that the Swift Wing had engaged its stealth systems and was moving to position. The small ship was the pride of the fleet, equipped with the most advanced cloaking technology in the Federation. Swift Wing reports ready, Admiral, said the communications officer. Execute attack, Tejo ordered. Across the system, the Swift Wing accelerated toward the rear of the largest Earth dreadnought. Its stealth systems made it virtually invisible to standard sensors. Captain Hyunsu of the Swift Wing felt confident as they approached firing range. Target their engine section, he ordered. Maximum power. The Swift Wing's weapons charged, and suddenly alarms blared across the ship. We're being targeted, the sensor officer shouted. Something has locked onto us. Through the viewports, the crew watched in horror as dozens of small spheres surrounded their ship, pulsing with blue light. Before they could react, the spheres emitted a field of energy that enveloped the vessel. The Swift Wing's engines shut down instantly. Its weapons went offline. The ship drifted helplessly, completely exposed. On the Eternal Glory, Tejo received the news with mounting dread. They knew exactly where the Swift Wing was, Jaiwo said, reviewing the data. Those sensor drones detected our stealth technology as if it wasn't even there. Commander Doyen's face appeared on the main view screen. Admiral Tejo, did you really think we wouldn't anticipate such a basic tactic? Your stealth technology is based on principles Earth abandoned a century ago. Tejo's face flushed with anger and embarrassment. How is this possible? Earth has been isolated from galactic affairs for generations. We chose to appear isolated, Doyen corrected. We watched the Federation expand, claim worlds that didn't belong to you, impose your will on species who wanted no part of your empire. We prepared accordingly. Doyen gestured, and the viewscreen split to show technical schematics of Federation ships, weapons systems, and defensive capabilities. We know everything about your technology, Admiral. We've studied every battle, every conquest. While you focused on weapons that destroy, we developed technologies that preserve. Tejo stared at the display in shock. The schematics were accurate down to the classified systems only high-ranking Federation officers should know about. Those sensor drones, Jaiwo whispered, studying the readings. They're quantum-linked somehow. They share information instantaneously across vast distances. Miho added, they're ship's energy systems. I'm detecting what might be controlled antimatter reactions. Technology we've only theorized about. On the viewscreen, Doyen continued. Earth could have joined the Federation generations ago. Instead, we chose to develop independently, free from your militaristic influence. We built our technology around harmony rather than dominance. As if to demonstrate, one of the Earth Dreadnoughts moved with impossible grace for its size, positioning itself near a disabled Federation ship. A soft beam of light extended from the Dreadnought to the Federation vessel, and suddenly its life support systems strengthened, ensuring the crew's comfort despite the other systems remaining offline. You see, Admiral? Doyen said. Even now, we choose to help rather than harm. Tejo sank slowly into his command chair. The technological gap between their civilizations wasn't a matter of small advances or clever innovations. It was a fundamental difference in approach, philosophy, and understanding of the universe itself. The Federation fleet, once the pride of the galaxy, now seemed primitive by comparison. Admiral Tejo stood at the viewport of the Eternal Glory, watching as another Federation cruiser lost power, its lights flickering before emergency systems engaged. Half his fleet now drifted helplessly in space. The rest remained in formation, awaiting orders that Tejo hesitated to give. Every tactic had failed. Every weapon had proven useless. Sir, Commander Jaiwo approached carefully, the crew was awaiting your command. Tejo turned slowly. The bridge was silent, all eyes on him. His reputation, his career, everything he had built over decades of service to the Federation, all of it hung in the balance of his next decision. Prepare the remaining ships for a coordinated withdrawal, he said finally. We will regroup at the edge of the system. Relief flashed across Jaiwa's face before she nodded professionally. Yes, Admiral. The order spread through the fleet. The remaining operational ships began to turn away from the Earth Dreadnoughts, engines glowing as they prepared to retreat to safer distance. On the bridge of the Humanity's Shield, Commander Doyen watched the Federation movement with a thoughtful expression. They're retreating to the outer system, reported Lieutenant Min Young. Shall we allow it? Captain Juno joined them at the tactical display. They're likely planning to regroup and try another approach. Or perhaps they're buying time for reinforcements. Doyen nodded. Signal Captain Donghe. It's time for the flanking maneuver. Across the system, the smallest of the Earth Dreadnoughts, the Peacekeeper, suddenly accelerated with surprising speed for its size. Its trajectory carried it toward the edge of the system, cutting off the Federation retreat path. On the Eternal Glory, alarms sounded as sensors detected the movement. "Admiral," Miho called out. "The third Earth ship is moving to block our withdrawal route. The speed, it's incredible. They'll reach the jump point before we do." Teiho's hands gripped the edge of the command console. "How? A ship that size shouldn't move so quickly." "Their propulsion technology defies our understanding," Jaiwo said quietly. "We've been outmatched in every aspect." The massive Earth vessel reached position and turned broadside to the retreating Federation ships. Its blue energy channels brightened as it deployed a new weapon system, a wide-angle field projector that sent waves of energy rippling through space. Federation ships caught in the field suddenly slowed, their engines struggling against an invisible force. "What now?" Teiho demanded. "Some kind of gravitational dampening field," Miho reported in awe. "They're restricting our movement without firing a single shot." Commander Doyen's face appeared on the main viewscreen again. "Admiral Teiho, retreat will not be possible. We ask again for your surrender." Teiho's face flushed with anger. "The Federation does not surrender." "Look around you, Admiral," Doyen said patiently. "Your ships are either disabled or trapped. Not a single one of your crew has been harmed. We could have destroyed your entire fleet in the opening minutes of this encounter, yet we chose not to. What does this tell you about our intentions?" The bridge fell silent as the crew awaited Teiho's response. He looked around at the officers who had served him loyally for years. They deserved better than a futile last stand. "What are your terms?" he asked finally. "Simple. The Federation will recognize Arcturian independence. You will withdraw all military forces from this sector. And you will open diplomatic channels with Earth to discuss a new relationship between our peoples." Teiho hesitated. Accepting these terms meant the end of his career. The Federation did not tolerate failure, especially such a public one. "And if I refuse?" In response, Doyen gestured to someone off-screen. The viewscreen split to show the interior of what appeared to be an Earth vessel's medical bay. Federation officers from the disabled ships were being treated for minor injuries by Earth medical staff. They looked surprised but unharmed. "These are some of your crew from the disabled vessels," Doyen explained. "As you can see, they are safe and receiving care. This is how Earth treats those we consider misguided, not enemies." The image shifted again to show Federation prisoners from previous conflicts, beings from a dozen different worlds forced to work in harsh conditions mining resources for the Federation. "And this is how the Federation treats those it conquers," Doyen said quietly. "Which approach seems more advanced to you, Admiral? Which represents the future you wish to build?" Teiho sank slowly into his command chair. For the first time in his career, he saw the Federation through outsider eyes, not as the glorious civilization bringing order to the galaxy, but as conquerors imposing their will on others. "Open a channel to all remaining ships," he said finally. Jaiwo complied, nodding when the connection was established. "This is Admiral Teiho," he began, his voice steady despite the emotion behind it. "All ships stand down. Power down weapons systems and prepare to receive Earth representatives." As the words left his mouth, Teiho felt something unexpected, not the shame of defeat, but the strange lightness of seeing truth for the first time. 3 months after the encounter between the Federation fleet and Earth's dreadnoughts, Admiral Teiho walked through the glass-walled corridor of the orbital diplomatic station Harmony. Earth had constructed it in record time at a neutral location where representatives from across the galaxy could meet as equals. Teiho wore a simple uniform with minimal insignia, a far cry from the ornate Federation attire he once proudly displayed. The Federation Council had stripped him of most titles after his surrender, yet surprisingly allowed him to serve as their representative in these historic talks. Through the corridor's transparent walls, he could see Earth's 3 dreadnoughts floating in formation nearby. Their presence was both a reminder and a promise, power restrained by wisdom. "Admiral," a voice called. He turned to see Commander Doyen approaching, dressed in the black and silver uniform of Earth's Defense Force. "Commander," he replied with a respectful nod. "Though I'm merely Teho now. The admiral title is ceremonial at best." "Titles matter less than actions," Doyen said, falling into step beside him. "Your choice to surrender saved countless lives and opened the door to peace. History will remember that more than any rank." They entered the Grand Assembly Hall where representatives from 86 worlds had gathered. Some were long-standing Federation members, others newly liberated systems, and many were formerly neutral worlds now aligned with Earth. President Sianho of Earth stood at the central podium, his white hair and lined face reflecting decades of leadership. Around him sat the Earth Council, 12 individuals who had guided Earth's silent development for generations. "Today marks the beginning of a new era," President Sianho announced as the hall quieted. "For too long, the galaxy has operated under the principle that might grants right. The Federation expanded through force where diplomacy failed, and neutral worlds stayed silent out of fear." Representatives from the Federation delegation shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Teho kept his face carefully neutral. "Earth chose a different path," Sianho continued. "We developed our technology not to conquer, but to protect. Not to destroy, but to preserve. The demonstration of this philosophy 3 months ago proved that advanced civilization need not be predatory." On a large display behind him, images appeared showing Earth vessels distributing humanitarian aid to war-torn planets, medical teams treating injured Federation soldiers, and engineers helping restore power to damaged Federation ships. "The new galactic charter we propose today is founded on 3 principles," Sianho said. "Sovereignty for all sentient species. Technology shared for collective advancement. And intervention only to prevent suffering, never to impose will." A small Arcturian rose from her seat. Her people had suffered the most under Federation rule. And how will Earth ensure the Federation honors these principles? "Your dreadnoughts cannot be everywhere." Teho watched carefully as Doyen stepped forward to answer. "We don't intend to police the galaxy," she explained. "Earth has shared defensive technology with formerly vulnerable worlds. The balance of power has already shifted. No single entity, not Earth, not the Federation, can dominate others anymore." To demonstrate, the display showed smaller versions of Earth's shield technology being installed on Arcturian ships, and drone defense systems protecting formerly helpless colonies. President Sianho nodded. "The Age of Empires is ending. The Age of Allies is beginning." The Federation's prime representative, a stern woman named Yuna, stood next. "The Federation has controlled this galaxy for 8 centuries. You expect us to simply surrender that role overnight?" "Not surrender," Teho surprised himself by speaking. All eyes turned to him. "Transform. I've seen firsthand what Earth technology can do. They could have destroyed our fleet, conquered our worlds, become the very thing they oppose. Instead, they showed restraint." He walked to the center of the hall. "I served the Federation my entire life, believing we brought order to chaos. Now I see we often brought fear instead. Earth's approach offers something better: security without submission." President Sianho smiled. "Well said, Teho. Which is why we would like you to serve as the first ambassador of cooperation between our peoples." Murmurs spread through the hall. For a Federation admiral, even a disgraced one, to be offered such a position was unprecedented. "The charter requires a 2/3 majority to adopt," Sianho continued, returning to business. "Representatives will now cast their votes." As the voting commenced, Teho moved to a viewport overlooking space. Commander Doyen joined him. "You knew this would happen," Teho said quietly. "Earth planned this for generations." Doyen nodded. "We watched the Federation expand, studied its strengths and weaknesses. We prepared for many possible futures." "Including this one? Peace instead of war?" "This was always our preferred outcome," Doyen replied. "The Dreadnoughts were built to prevent conflict, not win it. True victory isn't defeating an enemy, it's turning them into a friend." The voting concluded with overwhelming support for the new charter. As representatives from once warring worlds shook hands and exchanged promises, Tejo realized something profound: Earth's most powerful technology wasn't in their ships or weapons. It was their vision of a galaxy united not by force, but by choice. The Dreadnoughts had changed the battle, but Earth's wisdom was changing the stars themselves.